boxer, how do you feel like you get out of that bubble to make somebody a real boxer?
I mean, what he's doing is, I mean, kind of cool. If he can continue to steal money and they match him the way they match him, I can't knock his hustle. So if they can match him the way how they've been matching him.
I haven't seen Gervonta Davis in another sexual assault allegation, lawsuits incoming, potentially criminal charges levied. We don't know yet, but we know that fight is up in the air, and I think that fight's not going to happen, and they're going to either have to move the fight back or they're going to have to look to a replacement or both. I don't know.
This fight is still technically scheduled for November 14th to air on Netflix, but it's basically hanging on by a thread. But the team, Jake Paul's team, have reportedly gone and contacted all the fighters, and the names that they're looking at contacting to fight as a late replacement.
Floyd Mayweather has just shocked the boxing world again, calling out Jake Paul right after Gervonta Tank Davis's fight got scrapped over legal troubles. This time, Floyd says he's not playing around. No exhibition, no show fight. He wants a real professional matchup. He's even made it clear he won't move up in weight, meaning if this happens, it's going to be under true boxing rules. The surprise challenge has sent fans into a frenzy, wondering, is Floyd actually gearing up for one last Real comeback?
At the time, people badly wanted you and Jake Paul to fight. Is he someone you're interested in or no?
Well, you know, if you go back, you got to do your homework, look on the internet. I think he was doing a sit down on a podcast one time, and he talked about it. He said, I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
He said, I'm only doing real fights. And of course, I can't get up high in weight, but I'll fight him in a real fight at the weight that I'm at. But Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it. And he's making good money. And
due to the ongoing lawsuit and investigation, Gervonta Davis's much-hyped exhibition fight with Jake Paul has officially been canceled. His promoter, Most Valuable Promotions, confirmed they've launched an internal review and decided not to move forward with the event under the current circumstances.
He was supposed to be boxing Gervonta Tank Davis, a man that weighs 133 pounds or 135. Regardless, it's a man that is way smaller than Jake Paul. So that is just ridiculous, and I've given my thoughts on that before anyway. But now it turns out that Gervonta Davis has some allegations about domestic abuse. I don't know too much about the situation, but apparently Netflix have pulled the plug on that fight. It says, here's a tweet I'm reading from Mike Coppinger. As reported, Jake Paul's return could shift to December with the November 14th Netflix exhibition in jeopardy due to the latest allegations against Gervonta Davis. Sources tell Ring Magazine that December 12th and the 19th.
If you've been following the situation, Jake Paul was originally set to face Gervonta Tank Davis, a fighter who weighs around 133 to 135 pounds, much smaller than Jake. That matchup already raised plenty of eyebrows. But now, things have taken a serious turn. Davis is reportedly facing new domestic abuse allegations, and because of that, Netflix has pulled the plug on the planned fight. According to boxing insider Mike Coppinger, Jake Paul's return might be pushed to December, with December 12th or 19th now being discussed as possible new dates.
Champion Gervonta Tank Davis faces new abuse claims from a woman who claims to be his ex-girlfriend. This is according to our media partner, the Baltimore Banner. Courtney Russell says she dated Davis for 5 months and recently filed a civil lawsuit accusing him of aggravated battery, false imprisonment, and other offenses. She claims Davis physically attacked her a number of times during their relationship. Russell claims the most recent incident was Monday at a Miami nightclub. Davis is scheduled to fight Jake Paul in Miami.
Right now, Gervonta Davis is facing a civil lawsuit filed by his former girlfriend, Courtney Russell, over an alleged incident that took place on October 27th at a Miami nightclub where she works. The lawsuit accuses Davis of battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. According to the complaint, Davis allegedly dragged and assaulted her through several parts of the club, including the stairwell, kitchen, and parking garage. Meanwhile, Miami Gardens law enforcement has confirmed there's an active investigation running alongside the civil case.
Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched him weigh in. I want to say it was like 8.
Chael Sonnen has spoken out about the chaos surrounding the rumored cancellation of the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis fight, revealing he personally reached out to both camps for answers. Sonnen says he contacted representatives from Jake's team and Tank's side, but neither gave him a clear response, and that silence only fueled more suspicion. According to Sonnen, when both fighters refuse to deny a cancellation, it usually means something serious is happening behind the scenes, possibly involving deeper legal or promotional complications, not just scheduling issues.
There are many, many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever, period. So whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents? Or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter, a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
Does he have the ability, with what you've seen, to continue to mold himself into somebody who can actually? He told me before his goal is to fight Canelo, so that's where his mindset's at.
With Gervonta Davis's fight now in jeopardy, Floyd Mayweather has stepped in, calling out Jake Paul to face him instead. Mayweather hasn't held back when speaking about Jake's boxing skills. He admits Paul has done well in the crossover scene and is undeniably entertaining, but he stopped short of calling him a real boxer. Floyd even described a potential fight with Jake as too easy, saying Paul wouldn't pose a serious challenge to a fighter of his level. According to Mayweather, while Jake has built a profitable brand, stepping into the ring with a world-class boxer would expose the massive gap in his technique, training, and competition experience.
Is just with like Logan Paul and then Jake Paul now fighting Mike soon in the summer. What do you think defines a real boxer? Because I feel like people are still confused on if Jake Paul is a YouTuber boxer or a real boxer. How do you feel like you get out of that bubble to make somebody a real boxer?
What he's doing is, I mean, kind of cool. If he can continue to steal money and they match him the way they match him, I can't knock his hustle. So if they can match him the way how they've been matching him.
With Gervonta Davis's fight now in jeopardy, Floyd Mayweather has stepped in, calling out Jake Paul to face him instead. Mayweather hasn't held back when speaking about Jake's boxing skills. He admits Paul has done well in the crossover scene and is undeniably entertaining, but he stopped short of calling him a real boxer. Floyd even described a potential fight with Jake as too easy, saying Paul wouldn't pose a serious challenge to a fighter of his level. According to Mayweather, while Jake has built a profitable brand, stepping into the ring with a world-class boxer would expose the massive gap in his technique, training, and competition experience.
Really confident, they really believe in themselves, but you need more than that mindset. You need to have the full package of everything that I'm talking about, what Floyd has got.
Fighters should only want to get better. The more you win, the more you should work hard. If you think about losing, you're going to lose. All I ever thought about was winning. So that's all I know.
Floyd would visualize his success before he even stepped into the ring. There was no alternative to him but winning. And this mindset isn't just for boxing, it's for all walks of life. And I've actually done a full video talking about how I used this mindset of visualization to win my Olympic medal. And it was an absolute game changer. Now, Floyd used to use this mindset to ease the pressure that he put himself under. And he made himself think like, I'm not under any pressure right now, where he was under immense pressure.
Pressure either makes you or break you. Well, you see where I'm at, so it's obvious that I'm the type of athlete or I'm the type of entertainer that can deal with pressure. There's never no pressure.
Now, if you watch his fight in 2013, when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Canelo came in a young, strong, undefeated fighter, but by round 2, Floyd kind of had him figured out. He was reading Canelo's jab. He would slip outside and then come back with a clean counter punch, then move his feet and get out of the way. He basically had the full fight under control, and he was controlling the full rhythm of the fight. He was forcing Canelo to fight at his pace. And this is what he would do in all of his fights. He would get his opponent to do what he wanted them to do without their opponent even realizing it, which is what we call boxing IQ. Now, even though I'm not a fan of Floyd Mayweather personally, because of the time when I did meet him, what he said to me made me just feel like this guy is a piece of shit.
Many fans still believe Floyd Mayweather left behind a few unanswered what-ifs by refusing to grant certain rematches during his career. In contrast, Jake Paul has often been criticized for facing opponents who are either much smaller, older, or well past their prime. Even Mayweather himself has warned about Jake's level of competition, admitting that while Paul is entertaining, he's yet to face a true elite boxer. Floyd cautioned that the moment Jake steps in with a real fighter, the truth about his skill level could be exposed. Meanwhile, some fighters and analysts,
many celebrities and so many people that are known, where you can get somebody and they can sell tickets to events. That's what kicked off the social media influence boxing that Jake Paul was birthed from. Now we're in a vacuum. And so there's going to be a lot of conversation about that and continuing to do that. In this particular video, though, I want to get into the mind of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and why Floyd Mayweather Jr. would do this. There is the money, but there's also the competitive nature of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and him not wanting to have other people think that they're a bigger star than he is. Floyd Mayweather Jr. has not been able to really launch his star outside of the sport of boxing, so he continues to do exhibitions. Now, what I think is that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is announced it at this point in time with Mike Tyson in order to take advantage of the publicity heading into the Gervonta Davis, Jake Paul fight, which is, I do believe, set for November. So now that they have all the publicity and all that stuff coming out from that, he's going to piggyback on it and then try to have it in the beginning of next year sometime and actually make it a bigger event than Gervonta versus Jake Paul. And it probably will be. And the reason that I say that is because of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is bigger than Floyd. Let me say Mike Tyson. I think Mike Tyson's bigger than Floyd Mayweather. I still think his name is bigger than Floyd Mayweather, even though I know Floyd has made more money in the pay-per-views. And I think that had a lot to do with, again, social media area and otherwise. But the combination of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson and the question about
Floyd Mayweather isn't just praised for his speed, precision, or defense. It's his mindset that truly sets him apart. Analysts argue that what made Mayweather so dominant was his unshakable self-belief, the absolute conviction that he could beat anyone who stepped into the ring, as former boxer Tony Jeffries once noted. Mayweather's confidence and mental edge often allowed him to win the fight before it even began. That unwavering mindset is what truly defines the money, not just as a boxer, but is one of the sharpest minds the sport has ever seen.
Technically scheduled for November 14th to air on Netflix, but it's basically hanging on by a thread. But the team, Jake Paul's team, have reportedly gone and contacted all the fighters, and the names that they're looking at contacting to fight as a late replacement: Ryan Garcia, Terence Crawford, Francis Ngannou, I mean, come on, we'll get into them, and Nate Diaz. So he's already fought Nate Diaz, but let's go through them one by one. I mean, Ryan Garcia, he's a similar size to Gervonta Davis. He's bigger though. Davis made him come down, didn't he? Then he beat him up. So that was Ryan Garcia. Quite a bad loss for Garcia, that was, because he was up for the fight, but Gervonta Davis beat Garcia. Garcia also isn't really big enough to be jumping in with Jake Paul, but that's a fight that potentially could happen. Garcia is a massive name. He's a big he's a social media star. He's a big public figure. Loads of followers on Instagram and social. I mean, his Instagram's over 1 million, I'm sure it is. He's just a big name, good-looking kid, great fighter, fast stands, and he's quite controversial as well. So that'd be a good fight, but the weight disparity, again, it's too big. So for me, when I say it'd be a good fight, it'd be interesting to see how Ryan Garcia would go in against Jake Paul, but to be honest, Jake Paul's far too big for him. Who else we got? Terence Crawford. I can't see Terence Crawford entertained in this, but then you never know, do you? If the old bunts make sense, then it makes people do strange things. And Terence Crawford's getting on now. What is he, 37, 38 years old? Had that great win against Canelo. Would he jump in with Jake Paul for mega money? Probably. He'd paced him as well. I mean, Terence Crawford would be too much for Jake Paul, even though he's up at 168 in his last fight, super middleweight, my old weight division. So I don't think Jake Paul would fight him. Francis Ngannou, I mean, why even chuck Ngannou in the mix? Ngannou would just hammer him. He's too big. I mean, he talked about Anthony Joshua. That never happened, did it? It's a load of bollocks. He talked about fighting AJ, then announced he's fighting someone the size of one of AJ's legs in Gervonta Davis. So for me, that's nothing. And the Nate Diaz fight, he's already fought him. It was a rubbish fight.
Reports now suggest that Floyd Mayweather is eyeing a potential fight with Mike Tyson, and analysts say this might be about more than just another payday. Many believe Floyd's move reflects his desire to show he can still dominate the headlines, even in retirement. With the spotlight on the canceled Davis versus Paul fight, Mayweather seems unwilling to let anyone, not even his own protege, outshine him. Observers call it classic Floyd, a man fueled by attention, competition, and legacy, while Jake and Tank chase their moments. Floyd's rumored return highlights something bigger: the never-ending battle among boxing legends to stay relevant in a fast-changing sport.
Absolute clown world. Really fitting for fake Paul, the clown, because it's a clown show. You're putting him in with somebody who's 100 pounds lighter. I mentioned the weight disparity before. Getting on for 7 stone. It's a weight-governed sport. It should not be happening. He's too small, Gervonta Davis, against the big Jake Paul, who's in the gym a lot, training. Apparently he's fit and strong and he has a go and he can fight a little bit, which I disagree with, because I don't think he can. He might be able to fight a little bit. He certainly can't box. But these allegations against Gervonta Davis, they're very serious allegations. Anybody that's laying hands on women needs to be shut down straight away. For me, they need to be locked up in the key.
According to multiple reports, Jake Paul's promotional team is exploring several high-profile replacements for Gervonta Davis, whose upcoming fight is now in serious jeopardy due to legal issues. Among the names being discussed is Terence Crawford, a true elite in boxing, whose involvement could instantly raise the stakes and legitimacy of the matchup. While nothing has been confirmed publicly and talks are still in the early, speculative stages, the mere possibility has sent fans buzzing. Jake's team could be signaling a pivot, aiming for a more credible, high-level opponent in place of the canceled Davis bout.